Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market. And it was all about the economic data and the jobs data. Oh boy, it's super volatile. And man, we are getting some crazy swings. There's really good price action today. And so we'll go through all of that, as you can see. And it really was about one theme today. And I'll show it to you so you'll get to see that. We'll talk about Tesla. For those who saw yesterday's video, pretty much spot on right there with what happened. And then we'll go through a few other charts as well. And we got some big data coming out tomorrow, which everybody's kind of waiting on. So again, I think the market just sold us back down, waiting on that data tomorrow. Because remember, right now, what's the theme? All about recession. Oh my God, it's gonna be a 25 basis point cut, 50 basis point cut because jobs are slowing and all this fun stuff. So that's why that data tomorrow is so important. Now, if you look at the data that came out today, which spiked at 8:30, the market that is, you can see it was all about August ADP payrolls came in way less than expected. And you would think to yourself, well, that is just not good, right? I mean, you can see it obviously is definitely a slowing down market if this data is even halfway correct, that is. And what's all we got to go on, right? So we can keep trying to act like, oh boy, not a good thing or whatever it is. But, you know, it's funny because it was really, when you look at it, and I'll talk about it in just a second. Let me continue on this real quick. But it wasn't just about that. We also got unemployment and initial jobless claims, right? And they came in less than expected. You can see on the chart, what are they doing? They're actually starting to turn down, right? So we're coming in under what all these estimates are. And so people going, well, let's see, we're producing less jobs, it seems like. Unemployment is going up, but also less people filing for unemployment. Don't seem like those two would add up, right? But that is what we're seeing so far. And so it's just more data that people are looking at. And then, of course, you go over here to August ISM services data. Again, this one right here came in better than expected. And so it's not under 50. Under 50 is contraction. Like manufacturing has been in contraction for 3 years now. The services, which is 70% of our economy, not in contraction right now, but you can see when there's recessions, you know, this obviously has to be in contraction. There's no way to have a recession without it. And you can see we were in contraction for a little bit right here, as you can see, for a few months. And it got, you know, people worried, whatever. Oh my God, you got manufacturing and ISM services. But again, it's back out of there. So is it bottom? That's what we got to figure out. You also go over this one, talking about jobs data. U.S. job openings rate by industry, which is construction. And it's one of the biggest drops they've ever seen on record right here. But, you know, obviously you can see down the bottom one for sure. But when you look at it, again, what is norm? Yeah, I mean, norm was going up from 2010 to 2020. When you look at before that, 2002 to 2006, it was kind of just sideways, right? And so is that norm? That's what we got to figure out. And yeah, somebody asked, like, shouldn't these be going up? Yeah, in a non-rate hiking cycle, that's what would actually happen. But when you're in like a late stage economic environment with, you know, they're finna start doing rate cuts and stuff, it's hard to go up in that environment. You're not supposed to be going up in that environment. We were for the longest time, which is what's throwing everybody off. And then, of course, the last data which tripped me out was this one right here. The revision for August S&P Global U.S. Services PMI brought the index to 55.7 versus 55.2. Business activity rose as fastest pace in almost 2.5 years. I'm like, really? But you can see right there, again, this one was in contraction. It's come back out of contraction. You can see from 2010 to 2019, basically it stayed between 50 and 60. So you just want to stay out of below the 50 area, right? So this has been moving up, and so you're getting all this mixed data in here, but the main focus is all about the jobs data. Okay, that's what really, and as Jerome Powell said, is going to decide what they do in this rate cut. Now, what was the theme of the day also? It was nothing but the Mag 7, baby. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, right? And if I count 1, 2, 3, yeah, there's a 7, right? Google has 2 classes of shares. And then how can I verify this? Because that was around probably 11:30 today. But at the end of the day, what was extremely green and leading the way? Right there. That's my ticker that has the 8 heaviest weighted stocks in the Qs. And that's why I saw the Qs were green even when SPY was red, the Dow was red, IWM was red, Dow Jones Transportation was red, all that crazy stuff was like red, and QQQ was finally getting some love because it's been way behind, right? Now, what do we talk about? You know, when we talked about Tesla, and this is one of the things that was really pushing the Qs today. Well, what everybody's waiting on, and we talked about this to a blue in the face. We'll see if it ever hits. There's your low, your high, your higher low, and so maybe it sets a higher high right here. But the big thing everybody's waiting on is just one little push, and you almost guarantee everybody's going to sell at this point, is to push right up here. One explosive move up to 233, 235, somewhere in there. And boom, finally got it, right? Whether it's true, don't matter. They get this news coming out right here late last night, and it's like, hey, the car maker said it's ready to roll out its driver assistance technologies early next year as it preps for the launch of its cyber cab robotaxi next month in California. Also plan on rolling it out in Europe and China, and then of course increasing like their capital spending to almost $10 billion. And so everybody's like, woohoo, this is fantastic. And that's what you need, right? You get the calls rolling and everything. And what happens? Exactly what we talked about. Goes into that volume gap, shoots up, just gets the trigger, boom, and sells off immediately. Okay? I mean, immediately. And so again, does that mean it can't go higher? Sure, it doesn't mean that at all. But again, here we are in this channel. It's trying to form it. You know, what is this now? That is, even if it turned over right there, that is a higher high, right? That's what we talked about. Just forming structure out. Okay, there's the high. That would be a higher high. As long as it does not break down beneath this right here, okay, all that's good, which means that break down below that trend line, break down below the shaded area, which has been support for it. And so that's where we're at with Tesla. So that worked out perfectly. Congrats for, whoever watched the video yesterday or has been watching videos. I've been talking about this seems like forever, like I said. But they finally got that. So we'll see. We'll see if it does break down below that level, then expect something like that to happen. Again, we're not exactly entering into the most bullish time frame, but you could see a rotation. Who knows? If they start cutting rates, maybe people say, "Ooh, EVs, yes, easy to buy them now." And again, we'll see what the narrative is. Now, Amazon we talked about. See, it was going to break down below the 200 or break out of this trend line right here. It attempted a breakout, got to the top of the shaded area, sold back down like most things did after lunch. But, we'll see. If it breaks up, obviously, again, 183, we break down that 200 and that trend line right there. We're going between 158, 162-ish, somewhere in there. Now, NQ in the futures, what they keep doing, they kept on right here the last 3 days. This shaded area down there, they just keep bouncing it from there. Right? It started Tuesday, Wednesday, same thing happened today. We did get our pop back up. And so, again, because it was all about what? Technology today. And that's what this was all about. But again, very volatile, sold off. So this shaded area needs to hold. All right, if this breaks, okay, after getting the pop off this megaphone channel here, then obviously we are definitely in for some more downside, probably going down in between 18,000, 18,250, somewhere in there. But again, if it breaks the shade area, it's going to come down to the megaphone channel at the bottom. If you don't get a bounce from there, then see you later. Bye-bye. But again, there's still plenty of room to the upside, depending on how these numbers come out tomorrow, because I'm expecting them to come out actually, I'm not even going to guess how they're going to come out, truthfully. I did a members video today on this stuff, but it's not going to surprise me if they come in higher than expected, which the market would love, and they'll probably love it and go up. But if it comes in below and all of a sudden recession fears start happening, oh well, different ball game. So again, we got liquidity above, it can go up here and grab. Either way, I think the only thing we really agree on is it's going to be super, super, super volatile. Okay, very, very volatile. And when you look over here at the SPY, you can see where they left us today, right? It came down, filled 50% of this gap to the penny, and then it closes and sucked us back up to the 50 moving average on the day. Okay, the SPY was not strong. The Qs were way stronger, and that role has been reversed this whole time. So, we'll see the Qs start to catch back up. That's the big question. If they rotate out back into the Mag 7 for safety or whatever you want to call it, that's the big question. Again, if we don't like the numbers, we come down, fill this gaps around, I think it's like 544.72 would be the bottom. Wouldn't even be that big of a drop. Okay. And again, if they like it, then they start heading back up to those major levels right above us. Now the Qs, again, rejected, didn't close above the 100 again. Right, it's the second time, as you can see right there. If they love the numbers, you got that daily fair value gap right there. It's a big move up. There's a 50 right above it. So if we get a big push tomorrow, which I don't see it being a 3% day, but you never know, it is Friday, right? Then, you can see that right there, but at least head up there over the next couple of days. And then, of course, if not, they can always push us back down. Either way, the 830 candle is going to be crazy tomorrow, just FYI. It's going to wick both ways, probably, push you out of position if you're in one, catch your stop loss or something, if it's too tight a stop loss. Now, IWM, what's it doing? You can see right there. And now it's below the 50, but it did hold the 2024 level, okay? That was kind of key right there. Again, the 50 fib is sitting right down there in that gap right there. Seems like there's gap fill mania going on this week between all the indexes and stuff. But again, the key is to hold the 2024 level. Obviously, that breaks, you can almost guarantee we're going to be feeling that. So it's been under a lot of pressure. Okay, it's been feeling it. So big move down on this one. Now, of course, what's the data tomorrow? Well, here we go. Average hourly earnings, who cares? There it is. Non-farm employment change, okay? And then the unemployment rate. They're expecting the unemployment rate to drop tomorrow. And so if that comes in as is or under, I would think the market's really going to love it, because all of a sudden recession fear is off the table. And of course, if it comes in higher, then oh boy, it's going to be a hot mess. So it's all about the job data tomorrow. Let me know your prediction in the comments, what you think it's going to be looking like tomorrow, and where you think the market is going to be heading. By the way, put your questions in the bottom. If you have any questions for Saturday's video, I'll put that together tomorrow. And as usual, hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Really appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to sign up for the membership, feel free to click on the link in the bottom. And somebody actually asked me about this, said, what does the daily news briefing look like, and do you need to go on Patreon or Discord to get it? It'll actually show up in your email, and it looks just like this. Pretty simple, right? And so you can feel free to get that. I think to get the videos, you have to go on Patreon or in the Discord. But, you know, Patreon is pretty easy to navigate. And so, again, it has about everything you can possibly imagine. I think I've added so many things to this thing over the years. It's kind of funny, but probably too loaded up with different stuff. But anyway, hope you guys got something out of the video. Feel free to sign up for this, and I'll see you guys on Saturday.